from Seacroft, East Leeds, Leeds, Yorkshire, Europe, the world, the universe, the multiverse. Writing on air.
Hello to everyone out there in the radio universe tuning in to us here from Chapel FM Arts Center. This is day 3 of the Writing on Air Festival 2026, the 10th anniversary of it, and we are exploring the idea of threshold as the theme for the festival. So we are back up in the radio theater with a very special performance, and it's called Right Here With You, and you're in for a treat. We've got a studio audience here with us as well, and a special performer, Dales Ball, who has done lots of radio and performing and politics and other things here at Chapel FM in recent years, and this is a special treat. We were telling the studio audience, for those of you listening in at home or wherever you are, the International Space Station, on a boat, wherever you might be, this is a homage to someone named Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. Some of you may have come across him before. He was an American television children's TV host who talked to the camera, had a bunch of magical puppets, and was very, very sincere and incredibly good-hearted. And Dales has presented a fantastic little homage to Mr. Rogers. We'll have a short discussion afterwards so you can reflect on Fred Rogers' big-heartedness and Dale's take on it in just a bit. But we have lots of other exciting events coming up the rest of the day, and then we take a little pause and we resume the festival on Thursday. So right after this, we've got another program called Straw into Gold, and then Vicki Orton and other storytellers, and then we have a version of Beowulf coming up at 4:45, and then we end the day with the big pub quiz, which is not going to be broadcast. So if you're listening, though, and you're within, you can get here by 6 o'clock tonight, then you can join for the pub quiz in person. Is that right? Are there still tickets available? People can join? Yeah. So even if you're in Lille, you could almost make it in time. Not quite. Yes, we. Okay, so with that, we are going to take you on a little magical journey now into Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. So a big round of applause for Dales Ball and this presentation of Right Here With You.
Neighborhood, a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. And since we're together, we might as well say, could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? I like beginnings. Beginnings are gentle things, if we let them be. Even saying hello is a kind of beginning. A small step from not knowing someone to being in the same place together. Right now, all of us are standing at the same beginning. And I think there's something comforting about that. We're beginning together, and that already makes this place feel a little bit more like a neighbourhood. Before we go any further, I want you to know something. Today, isn't about being perfect. You don't have to have the right answers. You don't have to speak unless you want to. You don't have to perform or impress or prove anything. This neighbourhood is a place where you can come just as you are, carrying exactly what you brought with you without needing to explain it to anyone. Take a moment, if you're willing, just to notice the chair beneath you, the floor beneath your feet, the way your body feels right now. Without needing to change it, this place that you are sitting in is a starting place. And every starting place is also something else. It's a threshold. A threshold is a place between what was and what will be. It's a doorway, a step, a moment where time seems to slow down just enough for us to notice ourselves. We cross thresholds all the time, sometimes without even realizing it. Waking up in the morning is a threshold. Going to sleep is another. Saying goodbye is a threshold. Deciding to stay is a threshold too. If you feel comfortable, I'd like to ask you something. Have you ever stood in a doorway and hesitated before stepping through? Not because you were lost, but because you knew that once you stepped through, something would be different. If that's happened to you, maybe just raise your hand a little. I see you. That hesitation matters. It tells us that what's on the other side is important enough to pause for. We're often told that we should be confident before moving forward, that we should know who we are and where we're going to take a step. But thresholds don't ask us to be certain. They don't demand answers. They simply invite us to be present, to notice what we're feeling before we go any further. When I was younger, I used to think that feeling unsure meant I wasn't ready. I thought it meant I had failed some invisible test. But I've learned something different. Uncertainty doesn't mean something is wrong. It means you're paying attention. It means you understand that change has weight, and that weight deserves care. Let's take a gentle breath together. You don't have to close your eyes unless you want to. Just breathe in slowly and then out. Once more. Right now, we're standing together on a small threshold, the space between arriving and being fully there, and there's no rush to cross it. Some thresholds are easy to see. Starting a new job, moving to a new place, meeting someone for the first time. They show up on calendars and forms and announcements. But others are very quiet. You realize you're not the same person you used to be. The moment you notice that something you once held tightly no longer fits the same way. Those thresholds don't come with instructions. They don't announce themselves. They simply wait patiently for us to notice them. If you're comfortable, think about this quietly. If there is a threshold in your life right now, something that feels like it's ending, which whatever comes next hasn't quite begun. You don't have to name it, you don't have to solve it. Just acknowledge it. The way you might acknowledge a feeling passing through. Standing on a threshold can feel frightening. It can feel lonely. And sometimes it can feel exciting too. Often, it's all those things at once. Feeling that way doesn't mean you're confused. It means you're human. It means you care. There's something the world doesn't always tell us. You're allowed to take your time on a threshold. You don't have to cross it all at once. You don't have to leap. You don't have to be brave in the loud, dramatic way people sometimes imagine bravery. Even standing still can be a part of moving forward. If you ever felt pressured to move faster than your heart was ready for, you can nod your head. And the world moves quickly, and it doesn't always wait for our feelings to catch up. But your life doesn't move at a pace of expectations. It moves at a pace of understanding. And understanding does take time. Thresholds aren't just about leaving. They're also about honouring what came before. Missing something doesn't mean you've made the wrong choice. It means it mattered. Love doesn't disappear just because something changes. Love has a way with travelling with us, even when the scenery looks different. In neighbourhoods, there's a special kind of place where people often stop without planning to. A front step. It's not quite inside and not quite outside. It's where conversations happen naturally, where hellos and goodbyes feel a little safer. Front steps are thresholds that invite a connection without demanding it. I wonder if you've ever met someone on a threshold, someone who stood with you right at the edge of something new and didn't try to push you forward or pull you back. Someone who simply stayed. If you have, take a quiet moment to think of them. And if you haven't, I want you to know that moments like that are possible, even now, even here. If it feels okay, press your feet gently into the floor. Notice how the ground supports you without asking for anything in return. Even when everything feels uncertain, there are still things holding you up. Sometimes remembering that can make all the difference. Every threshold you've crossed has shaped you, even the ones you didn't choose, even the ones that hurt. Even the ones you wish you could go back and do differently. You didn't cross them by accident. You crossed them because you were growing. Even if it didn't feel like growth at the time. I used to think courage meant not being afraid. But courage is the absence of fear. Courage is staying present while you're afraid. It's choosing kindness when things feel unclear. It's allowing yourself to feel instead of shutting down or turning away. If you've crossed a hard threshold before and survived it, maybe place a hand gently on your chest for a moment. That's your heart remembering its own strength. Not the kind of strength that never breaks, but the kind that keeps beating anyway. Some thresholds don't get crossed just once. Some we return to again and again. Forgiveness can be a threshold. Trust can be a threshold. Letting yourself know can be a threshold. Each time we approach them, we do a little bit more understanding than we did before. In this neighbourhood, we don't rush people across thresholds. We don't tell them how they should feel or how long it should take. We make space. We sit together. We listen. Because sometimes the most helpful thing you can do for someone standing on a threshold is to just stand nearby. If you're comfortable, let me ask you something. What would it feel like to trust? What would it feel like to trust, but you don't have everything figured out yet? Just for this moment, just whilst we're here together, You don't have to answer. Just notice what the idea brings up. You know, neighborhoods are built slowly. One person at a time, one conversation at a time, one careful crossing at a time. And no matter how many thresholds you're standing on right now, you don't have to cross them alone. Even when you do eventually take a step forward, the connections you've made don't disappear behind you. I'm very glad you chose to be here today, exactly as you are, standing right here, where you are. Because right now, right here, this is a threshold too. The threshold between being alone with your thoughts and sharing the space with others. The threshold is between listening and being heard, and that is a good place to be. Good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say you're gonna make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, a feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new. And I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you want to talk about. I will too.
Okay, so that was ready for a little conversation with the audience for a few minutes before the next one.
Does the audience want to have a conversation for the next few minutes?
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Not
Well, yeah. So I suppose we can just open it up to okay, boys and girls. If you have any questions now for Dales or Fred Rogers here, this is your chance to ask away. So it looks like we have a young man in the front row here. Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, it wasn't really so much for a question. I just wanted to say I really, really enjoyed that, Dales. And you know, it's the fullest sort of exploration of threshold as a theme that I think we've had in the festival, in fact, because it's a really complex idea, and I think people have run with it, but you really delved into it there and made me think of the whole concept, the whole theme in a different way. So thank you very much for that.
Marvelous. Any others out there? Oh, here we go.
Yes, I was just going to second what Peter said about threshold being the point of change, and that being reassuredly done rather than change is bad.
Very good. Feel free if you want to respond to any of these, otherwise we can soak up
I
some
really
more.
appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Very good. Any others out there? Over this way?
As an older person, I'd just like to say that thresholds get easier as you get older.
Here's thresholds getting easier. Very good, very good. Okay, others. We've had all the front rows.
Actually, I've got a question for the audience.
Great.
What's one thing from today that you're going to take away and apply into your everyday life? One thing.
Being good, says the woman with the lovely fur hat.
Anyone at the back? No?
Appreciation for small moments like standing on thresholds. Very good. Embracing change.
Yeah, I really like the idea of staying with somebody at the threshold without pushing them or pulling them back. And I think as a parent, I think that's a really important point to bear in mind. When you're tempted to push or pull back, just to be there with somebody is a really good thing.
Very good. Okay. Any others?
Well, just before we go, I do have a little bit of a note and a thank you. Just a note of, I wrote this because right now we are in a lot of change. politically, just environmentally, stuff like that. I wrote this thinking about what would Fred Rogers do, but what would Dales do as well? Because this character wasn't necessarily Fred Rogers, but it wasn't necessarily Dales either. So it was about just how do I apply the threshold. I did actually take the theme of threshold very literally. That's why it's very prevalent in the piece. And I'd just like to say thank you to Peter, if we could have a round of applause. Tony, James, Sandra and Andrew over there, thank you very much. The tech guys at the back as well. Thank you all for coming.
Good.
And that's all from me.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. We have lots more coming up here from Chapel FM Arts Centre and the Writing on Air Festival.
Writing, to me,